In Tuesday's dramatic Emmerdale installment, Paddy Dingle is stunned to uncover the latest proof that the detective has collected against him. Can he manage to talk his way out of danger? At the same time, Jacob Gallagher vents his workplace irritation on Sarah, while Arthur Thomas faces a looming threat over a major secret. The detective takes action by arriving unexpectedly in the village to confront Paddy. The surprise element works in her favour, leaving Paddy utterly dumbfounded when he's summoned back to the station for questioning. During a formal interview, the officer grills Paddy about the rope discovered at the veterinary clinic, noting how it resembles the one used in the previous crime. Taking no risks, she has already secured the piece of evidence for detailed inspection. The detective once again presents her theory that Bear did not act alone in attempting to dispose of the body. She emphasizes that it would have been almost impossible for him to move the remains without assistance. Paddy realizes he is at a critical junction when given a final opportunity to admit his involvement. Will he confess or continue to conceal the truth? Sarah notices a sports car parked in the village and tries to take it, hoping to earn some quick money for Kane. Before she can get inside, Jacob intervenes, explaining that the luxurious car belongs to his supervisor. Jacob panics after the narrow escape, understanding that it could have worsened his problems with his intimidating boss. Overwhelmed, he snaps, particularly when Sarah refuses to reveal the full story behind her actions. Laurel experiences a brief fainting episode at Mulberry Cottage, prompting Manpreet to make a home visit to check on her. Since Laurel continues to insist she doesn't know the cause of her blackout, Manpreet sends Arthur and Gabby away to speak privately. Will the truth come out that Arthur accidentally caused the incident? Jai and Kerry argue openly at the depot, despite the recent romantic tension between them. Behind closed doors, however, the atmosphere shifts when Kerry visits Jai's office for a supposed work discussion. How long can they keep their secret without attracting suspicion? Emmerdale spoilers as Kane opens up and a charged moment sparks between Graham and Rona. Emmerdale has kept fans hooked with twists and turns this year, and next week promises even more explosive developments in the village. Following the dramatic Corriedale crossover, John Sugden met a tragic end, prompting Victoria Sugden to leave with her son Harry for a fresh start, leaving Robert to cope with losing his farmland to Joe Tate. Thanks to Joe's manipulations, Robert orchestrated a plan that implicated Moira Dingle in the deaths of Celia Daniels and Anya, both victims on Celia and Ray's grim farm. As Moira faces punishment for a crime she didn't commit, Beowulf admitted to killing Ray Walters in an attempt to clear her name. Meanwhile, Kane Dingle has been keeping his prostate cancer diagnosis hidden from those closest to him, including Moira. Though he confided in Sarah Sugden, the secret has begun to weigh heavily on them both. Here's what's coming up next in the Dales. Surveying Butler's property on the verge of being lost, guilt-ridden Kane struggles to accept Moira's gratitude for him keeping things running while she's away. Pressured by Joe and mounting bills, Kane confides in Sarah about Joe's blackmail and the looming threat of prison. Sarah urges him that it's time to come clean with Moira before matters spiral out of control. At the same time, Sarah wrestles with her own relationship struggles, unable to open up even when the kind-hearted Belle inquires about her troubles. Meanwhile, in the Woolpack toilets, Kane faces a terrifying moment when blood appears during a painful visit, shaking him about what lies ahead. Seeing how distressed Kane is, Liam encourages him to reveal the truth about his illness to the family. Kane visits Moira behind bars, and her world crumbles when he admits that his cancer is far more serious than he had led her to believe. Moira struggles with the revelation that Kane has known about his condition for a month, and urges him to inform Kyle, Isaac, and the rest of the family. Though devastated by the latest farm news and Joe Tate's schemes, Moira emphasizes that Kane's health must come first. Kane realizes he must confront his future head-on. The following day, Joe feels slighted when his plot to absorb Butler's farm into the Tate empire fails to impress Kim. Meanwhile, a withdrawn Kane begins the difficult task of telling his loved ones about his cancer. Kim arrives at the prison for her planned meeting with Moira, but will it unfold the way she expects? The family gathers at the Woolpack to support Kane as he prepares for one of the hardest conversations of his life, heading to the back room with Kyle and Isaac. Earlier, Sam's heartfelt words in the pub remind Kane just how much his family cares for him, prompting him to step outside for a moment of fresh air. Meanwhile, Mac, Matty, and Ross start to feel a glimmer of hope for the farm after Vanessa confirms the TB tests for the herd are encouraging. Graham confides in Rona that he was aware of Kane's diagnosis all along, explaining why he played both sides during Kane's conflict with Joe. Lydia accidentally witnesses a tense, charged moment between Rona and Graham. The following day, Lydia informs Kim about seeing Graham and Rona together. Kim reassures herself that the revelation doesn't bother her, while Graham gives Rona an ultimatum. Meet him at 12:30, or he'll walk away for good. Rona is left wrestling with her decision. Nervous but determined, Graham waits for Rona on the footbridge, ready to speak honestly about his feelings. Elsewhere, Laurel confides in Nicola, and Arthur turns down Jai's job offer at the depot. Gabby checks in with Arthur about Laurel's well-being, prompting him to finally admit he pushed her. Gabby offers a new plan to help. Meanwhile, Matty reflects on all that he's lost. Before dodging Nicola's prying questions at the cafe, Kerry informs Jai of where she'll be later for a private rendezvous. Nicola, however, continues to harbour suspicions about their closeness. Paddy learns from the ward manager at Bear's secure mental health unit that Bear is being assessed for potential release. Ever since Bear admitted to killing Ray Walters, DS Walsh has been suspicious that he didn't act alone. Bear had returned to the village after enduring months of neglect on Celia Daniels' farm, and Walsh suspected he would have needed help to move Ray's body, but Bear refused to reveal who else was involved. After the murder, Paddy and Dylan moved Ray's body into the back of a depot van to protect Bear from legal consequences. When Bear later confessed to the police, he left out Paddy and Dylan's involvement. Because Walsh knows Bear is withholding information, the investigation remains open. During an interview, Bear claimed he acted alone, but inadvertently mentioned hearing other voices, raising further questions. It's a delicate situation for everyone. Walsh is focused on uncovering the truth, while Paddy and Dylan hope remaining silent will let village life continue as normal. However, Walsh is relentless, like a dog searching for a hidden bone. In tonight's episode, she returns to the village after Bear goes missing, warning Paddy that he will be rearrested once his father is found. Later, the detective spots something out of the corner of her eye at the vet's. She waits until evening to return, telling Vanessa Woodfield she left her phone in the back room. Emmerdale airs weeknights at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX.